sure they can hear me. Okay, good morning. My name is Crystal Jacob, and I'm the chair-elect of the Ulster County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, and I'd like to welcome you to this morning's breakfast meeting. Please stand and join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. For those joining us on live stream, yes, we are back and in person at the venue uptown at the Best Western Plus in Kingston. And everyone here this morning, it's so great to be back. I know this is our second breakfast back. I missed the first one, so for me this feels like the first time I've been at a breakfast in over a year, so it's exciting. If you work from home or your schedule does not permit you to be at our breakfast meetings, the Chamber is going to continue to live stream these important events to you on Facebook. Now let's check out some of the events we have coming up. We have some great networking opportunities planned and also a special event coming up for our many new members. But first of all, we'd like to invite everyone to join us next Thursday at Diamond Mills and Saugerties for our annual Business Recognition Awards Dinner. This is our signature event where we recognize and honor those outstanding businesses and organizations. So mark down the date. It's Thursday, October 21st, starting at 5:30. Our honorees this year include Business of the Year for Howmet Fastening Systems, Small Business of the Year, 32 Partitions, 721 Media Center, Business Person of the Year, Renee Martin of Lily Ray in the Hamlet, Hospitality Business of the Year, Courtyard by Marriott Kingston, Commitment to the Community Award, Boys and Girls Club of Ulster County, the Heritage Award, J&J Sass Electric, the Emerging Young Leader Award, Stephen Kennedy from Turn Up the Beat, and the Len Kane Heart of the Ulster County Award will be given to honor Tommy Keegan of Keegan Ales. Yes, thank you. We could not host such a great event this year without the generous support of our sponsors, and we'd like to thank them at this time. Our premium sponsors include the Emerson Resort and Spa, Ulster Savings Bank, New Vance Health, Rondout Savings Bank, Central Hudson, and the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. Our platinum sponsor is Community Products. Our diamond sponsors include Adirondack New York Trailways, Town and Country Liquors, Rhinebeck Bank, Howmet Fastening Systems, and Pursuit Lending. Additional sponsorships are still available, and individual tickets are as well. So to find out more or to purchase your ticket, please go to the Chamber website at ulsterchamber.org. We look forward to seeing you October 21st at Diamond Mills as we salute our Ulster County's best and brightest businesses. Our next breakfast meeting will take place Friday, November 19th, and we will be meeting at the Wiltwick Golf Club, starting at 7:30 a.m. Our guest speaker will be Kingston native, well-known author, and nationally known motivational speaker, Jay Riffenberry. And our sponsor for that breakfast is Health Alliance Hospital, WMC Health. Jay's address is entitled, Return to Your Core, a Blueprint for Character and Leadership Development. This will be a great opportunity for businesses and organizations to inspire, invest in, and enhance the personal and professional development of your employees and leaders. The fact that Jay will be speaking just a week before Thanksgiving and the start of the holiday season is also meaningful since Jay emphasizes the values of gratitude, family, and servant leadership. All of those things we really need, especially in a time like this. In addition, the Chamber will be welcoming several veteran members of the VFW Honor Guard who will be wearing new uniforms paid for by more than a dozen generous Chamber members. Ulster County Executive Pat Ryan and Kingston Veterans Association President Bill Forte will be given an opportunity to thank those local businesses. The Chamber's outstanding young professionals will be hosting their annual trivia night right here at the venue uptown on Tuesday, October 26th. Everyone is welcome to attend to take part of this fun event, and you can bring a team of 4 or you can just come alone. It only costs $10, payable at the door, with all proceeds going directly to benefit the Ulster County Habitat for Humanity. The first place team will win a $100 gift certificate to the Ulster County Habitat Restore, and there will be refreshments and a cash bar. Registration is required, so sign up early, and we hope to see you there at the venue uptown for trivia night with the young Ulster professionals on October 26th, starting at 6 p.m. Making important network connections is what the Chamber of Commerce is all about. And for our new members, we have just the event scheduled, a new member meet and greet at the Holiday Inn Express in the town of Ulster. It will be held on November 4th, starting at 9 a.m. Space is limited, so if you're a new member, register today on the Chamber's website or call the Chamber office at 338-5100. Finally, it's last call for your chance to be part of the Chamber's annual Community Resource Guide and Membership Directory. This is the premium guide for businesses relocating to Ulster County with a complete listing of more than 1,000 local businesses. The deadline for ads will be October 22nd, and you can find all the information about this book and being part of the Chamber's website, being part of this book at the Chamber's website, ulsterchamber.org. And now with the rest of our program, here is our President, Ward Todd.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day in the Hudson Valley. Is it not, or is that, did I take yours? Is that like your slogan, what a beautiful day in the Hudson Valley? I know. So it's okay, it's a Chamber of Commerce Day. How's that? It is spectacular outside. Thanks so much for being with us. Crystal mentioned it. We mentioned it in September when we first came back, how great it is to see folks in person. Every one of you we've missed. So it's great having such a wonderful, vibrant small business economy locally. Everybody is so engaged in helping each other. It's a great thing. So thanks for being here today. We're delighted to welcome several new members to our Chamber family today, and we'd like to ask Jess Davis, our Director of Membership, to come up and introduce them to you this morning. Jess?
Good morning, Ulster County. Good morning, everyone. I'm really getting used to back to seeing these faces in real life. It's a great feeling. So we do have some new members to welcome. It's always a great highlight of the morning when we gather together. And we'll start with Amodio Real Estate and Properties. They are located right here in Kingston. Eliana Amodio is the broker and owner. Syncota Studios Ltd. in Gardner, and George Syncota is the president there. It's arts and entertainment, and most recently they built the tree for the stage for the set for James Taylor. Pretty cool little tidbit. We welcomed Garvin's Gastro Pub in New Paltz, along with Maggie Mays in New Paltz. Both are owned by Garvin McCloskey and Leone, and the general manager there is Kathy Combs. I highly recommend everything on the Garvin's menu, and I'll be visiting Maggie Mays on the 20th of this month for a Jess Delicious, so I'm very excited. We have MGI Construction and Consulting, and Susan Wright is the president there, and they're right here in Uptown Kingston, and they offer a complete range of construction services. Miller and Kahn, they are partners Scott Miller and Robin Kahn, legal representation in real estate with an emphasis on transactions and commercial leasing. Moonburger of Kingston, and Jeremy could not be with us today. Jeremy Robinson Leon is the owner, the founder there, and they will be opening. A little bit of a delay, but I'm told Sunday is slated to be the soft opening, so I don't know if you saw my video, but I did get a sneak peek and it was excellent. And today with us, William Standish from New Yorkers Chorus, and it's a men's a cappella chorus. I'm going to ask him to come up. I don't know if he's going to sing. But basically, Their chorus is the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America. Did I get that right, William?
You got it right. It is so long. We now go by BHS, Barbershop Harmony Society. So it cuts down on all that nonsense of people trying to recognize that logo. I am from Orange County. I live in Washingtonville. Our New Yorkers Chorus meets in Poughkeepsie, Dutchess County, and I'm here in Ulster County. So it's a 3-county spread for myself. We do sing. The COVID has had a little bit of an effect on our membership, as well as some other attrition issues over the last 3 to 4 years. So we're looking to get a lot more singers in our chorus. So I see a lot of men out here. Feel free to come down and join us on Wednesday nights. If you're interested, check our website first. Right now we're every other Wednesday, but as soon as we get more voices, we'll be on every Wednesday night down on Nassau Road in Poughkeepsie. Short drive for you guys in Kingston. And that's my story.
Oh, I see a lot of men that could join this chorus. It would be a lot of fun. Board Todd, what do you think? And last but not least, we have Arthur Boyce III here from North Star, New York, out of Saugerties. Digital marketing agency in North Star, New York will help you build your brand and make it look better on social media. Isn't that what we all want today? Share a few words, Arthur.
Good morning. My name is Arthur. I have the digital marketing agency. I just joined the Chamber of Commerce, I think last month or a couple months ago, and mainly do digital marketing on Instagram and Facebook if you really want to get out there on social media.
Sounds great. I think we all probably have an opportunity. I'm looking at the majority age group in the room, and the younger people tend to be the Instagram pros. So when you see a young individual, grab them. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you as our community. And if you are not yet a member of the Ulster Chamber, please get in touch with me. We love to represent a vast variety of organizations and small businesses, small and large, throughout Ulster County. Jess at ulsterchamber.org, or you can find me all the time on Facebook. Thanks, Ward.
Thank you, Jess. So thanks again, Jess, and congratulations again, all our new members. Great business decision, we think, becoming part of the Chamber of Commerce. Before we get to our sponsor and our speaker, I just wanted to, again, urge everyone, if you've not done so already, to become a proud member of UEU. And what is that, you're asking? It is, in case you're unaware, the largest restaurant advocacy social media group in the Northeast. And with posts like that, there's no wonder why. We all know, long before you take that first bite, as the expression goes, we eat with our eyes first. And therein lies, I think, the success to this phenomenal group. Not patting myself, but Jess and others behind the scenes on the Chamber staff who would not want to dive into any of those as portrayed here. And I'm putting it up today. We've talked about this at our events before, not so much to talk about how much it helped the restaurants, but what has happened to this group in terms of just making our community even closer. You need to look no further than these posts from a local educator who enjoyed taking her mom around town during the pandemic. And she gave her the best meals. Flip, if you would, to the next slide, Allison. Thank you very much. There you see pictures of Karen and Betty Madonna. Karen is a local Kingston educator. Her mom, retired principal at Mahar School. And the point I want to make is just how much this has become such a part of the fabric of our wonderful, rich community. And not just to save restaurants, but to become a forum for everyone to share, to enjoy, to come together as a community. I love the shot of Mrs. Madonna with a little soft ice cream on the tip of her nose. But it's these kinds of posts that really are heartwarming to see how great it is, Ulster County loving to come together over the dinner table. So that's so nice, Karen and Betty Madonna. Just wanted to share that. We have door prizes and birthdays. Carol and Ingrid, if you would, we want to give away some stuff if we could. We have birthdays to announce, including members of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and staff, I think in the month of October. We celebrate David Gagnon's birthday, October 21st. Our immediate past chair. David, are you here? Where's David? Oh, he's had a meeting. Oh, he's always had a meeting. Allison, October 24th. She's finally going to be legal. Happy birthday. We're so happy. Tony Trosha, October the 25th, and Gene Waterbury from the Chamber Board, also October 29th. And we're going to give away dinner for two at Mariners Harbor at 1 Broadway in Kingston. And the winner amongst us is John Finch from Ulster Savings, celebrating a birthday on the 16th. I'll send you a certificate. Congratulations, success, happy birthday. I won't ask the age. You can volunteer it, but I'm not asking. Door prizes, can we pull some cards? And we have some lube oil and filters from Begnell Motors right here in Kingston, so that's pretty nice of them to donate. Brian Schneider from Gateway wins one of those. Congratulations, Brian. They're a great CFO. And another one goes to Jason Meyer from Williams Lake Project, their construction and property manager. Exciting things happening at Williams Lake. Raise your hand if you would. The Kiwanis Capers are coming. When are these, Mo? What's the date?
Thursday, next week.
When is it? Next week?
21st, 22nd, 23rd.
At where?
At Family School.
Did you start rehearsals yet?
I started last night.
Don't go, not too much early. Not too much early. The Kiwanis Capers is known for not a lot of rehearsals. Anyway, we have a pair of tickets, two pair to give away. Sean Saliva wins one from Rondout. Sean, congratulations to you. And John Halligan, Bank of Greene County, gets 2 tickets to the Capers. Congratulations. Enjoy those. Jess got for us a week of free passes, brand new member Core Cardio Kickboxing Club. Get ready for this. This should be fun. Ryan Hawthorne from Central Hudson. Good job, Ryan. Enjoy that. Right here in front. And one more for Bradley Cummings from UHY Advisors. Finally, we end with a bottle of cleverly disguised wine from JK's in the Kingston Plaza, and that goes to Dave McGorry from New Horizons Resources. Congratulations, David. Nice. That's it. All right. Thank you, Carol. Before we get together again in November, seeing Carol reminds me she and I and 50 of our closest friends are finally going to Greece, a trip that was postponed from March of 2020. 50 of us are taking off November the 6th for 10 exciting days. And then we are planning and already booking trips to Ireland in the spring and Morocco in October next year and back to Greece in November. So the travel trips, people are traveling, and we invite you to join us. They're so much fun. It's not a vacation, though. It's an adventure, every single one of them. So they're a lot of fun. Want to welcome our Kingston Mayor, who's with us this morning, Steve Noble. Good to see you. Thank you very much for being with us. Always a pleasure to see you. And I do want to take a moment to thank our sponsor before we bring on our speaker today, our good friends at Hudson Valley Credit Union. HVCU is committed to providing our region's businesses and families with a full complement of financial products and services to make them successful. Now serving more than 310,000 of our neighbors, the credit union offers 20 branches, as well as a complete suite of electronic and automated services. Businesses and individuals who live, work, worship, attend school, or volunteer in Ulster County, as well as 11 other New York counties, can take advantage of the credit union's many financial options. As one of the region's largest employers, HVCU strives to be a positive force for economic growth, as well as a strong community partner. Credit union members consistently describe the credit union as member-focused, service-driven, professional, strong, and community-minded. These qualities define Hudson Valley from the inside out and are the result of their 58 years of unwavering dedication to quality service and financial excellence. We invite you to stop by any branch to experience the credit union difference and see why Hudson Valley is the trusted financial partner, helping our region's businesses reach their financial goals. And we're delighted to have with us this morning HVCU's Vice President of Retail Delivery, Rob Brown. Rob, come up if you would, please. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It truly is a pleasure to be here, and I'm going to echo the same words about getting together in person. It is so wonderful to be able to get together and network and connect and help each other succeed. And Hudson Valley Credit Union is truly honored to be the sponsor of the breakfast this morning, knowing how important the Chamber is in the local community. Small business is the heart and soul of communities, and it's a pleasure to do anything we can do to support them. I did want to acknowledge a few of my colleagues that are here with me this morning. Julie Franciscini, our branch manager here in Kingston, and Kristen Labulis, our assistant branch manager in Rhinebeck. So thank you for being with me this morning. I also wanted to just let everybody know that we are wrapping up our annual Women in Business Conference. We did it virtually this year over 3 virtual sessions, and we have 2 left. One is actually tomorrow at 11:30 on executive leadership communication. And then our final session is on October 21st at 8:30 a.m. And we're very excited to have Sarah Ross from Brain Amped, who will discuss leadership vitality. All the sessions are free, and you can sign up at hvcu.org. And I definitely encourage you to do that. Again, it is an absolute pleasure to be the sponsor this morning. Our mission at the credit union is to create successful futures for our members, our colleagues, and the communities we serve. And we look forward to that opportunity. So thank you, Ward, for a few minutes.
All right, Rob. Thank you. Thank you again, Rob. Time to announce our speaker this morning, and we're delighted to have our good friend with us from HVEDC. And for him, it's an opportunity, I think, to talk to us about all of the great, exciting things happening in our Hudson Valley region. So many headlines in the papers the last couple of years. Everything from New York's Hudson Valley is drawing big city dwellers looking for open spaces. In the New York Times, Kingston, a city remade by the coronavirus, and they have gone on and on the past 18 months or more. And the Hudson Valley truly is an exciting place to live and work and raise a family. So our speaker is the president and CEO of the Hudson Valley Economic Development Corporation. They cover 7 counties, including Ulster, Dutchess, Orange, Westchester, Rockland, Sullivan, and Putnam. He has been there now since May of 2018 and served in that same position back from 2009 to 2013. Prior to that, you may have known him when he was vice president of the Hudson Valley Regional Director at Empire State Development. He's also served as managing partner of Belleville Development Partners and also served as CEO of Hudson River Ventures, an investment fund that works to empower entrepreneurs here in the Hudson Valley. We invite you to please give a warm Chamber of Commerce welcome to our speaker, Mike Oates. Mike.
Good morning, everyone. So I get a call from Ward, and I a voicemail message. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. I finally got the call. Like it's happened. I go run down and tell my wife, I go, he's called. They finally want me. And then I listen to the message. I thought he wanted me to come and talk about all the Eagle pictures I take over at the Eagles over at the Quick Check right around the corner here, but evidently he wanted me to talk about economic development. So that's what you're stuck with this morning. Again, I want to thank Ward. This is a vibrant chamber. This is a wonderful chamber. It's great that you're all here. It's great that people are zooming in as well. We encourage you to remain involved and engaged with the chamber. You can see from some of the earlier presentations. Did you see the numbers on those social media posts? That was what, not only the messaging, but the numbers were in the thousands. And that's absolutely critical and a great way to promote local businesses throughout the entire county. So keep engaged, keep coming to these types of functions, and the programming will remain strong as it always has been. All right, so I want to give you just a quick little background of HVEDC. We can probably go on to the next slide. And then the next one too. Thank you. Ward explained, Hudson Valley EDC covers the 7 counties of the Hudson Valley. Our mission is very straightforward. We can cut to the chase. It's about jobs and investment into the Hudson Valley. And so we do that to work to diversify and grow the regional economy. And we do that in 3 main ways. Attraction. We help companies that are thinking about moving into New York State and into the Hudson Valley region. We help them find the real estate. We help them navigate approval processes. We help them find incentives if it makes sense for the business, and do everything we can to make a project feel welcome and make the decision to land here in the Hudson Valley. We also work on retention projects as well. Companies that are, frankly, thinking about leaving or moving to out of the Hudson Valley region or out of the state. We try to convince them that that's not a good idea, and we do whatever we can, bringing in partners to try to keep those companies from leaving. And a major part of what we do is also expansion. We want to work with companies that are currently here in the Valley, and specifically here today in Ulster County, that are looking to grow. And we want to be able to be supportive and help them achieve their long-term goals. And that could be workforce development. Again, it could be on real estate. It could be just problem solving. There's not one single thing that we do for a project or business. We try to listen. We try to be problem solvers, because every business has different challenges and different opportunities, and we try to link those together as best we can. Next slide, please. So what I want to talk today about is really touching on some of the trends that we're seeing throughout the Hudson Valley region. And there's really three main areas I want to talk about. One is economic development trends, workforce development trends, and energy and infrastructure policy. So if we look at our economic development trends, what's happening now? As we look at, are we in a post-pandemic world? Are we still in the pandemic? Kind of where are we, and what's happening in the Hudson Valley? One of the key things that we've been seeing, and Ward touched on it in some of those articles, is that exodus from New York City. The large group of residents who have decided, during the pandemic that they can no longer be in Manhattan. They have to look elsewhere, and the Hudson Valley has taken. Has really taken advantage of being a great location for people to come, live, work, and play. So we're seeing great numbers of people, which has pushed our real estate, market to almost a frenzy level. That continues into northern New Jersey. That's continuing in Long Island. It's continuing, in southern Connecticut as well. But the Hudson Valley has gotten a great deal of that, and we think that trend's going to continue for the foreseeable future. But let's be clear, our win comes at a cost, right? We need New York City, and we need Manhattan specifically to be a vibrant engine for New York State. We can absorb a lot of these businesses and residents who are looking to move into the region. But make no mistake, the economic driver overall for the state of New York is New York City, and we need to make sure that they get their act together, to be honest. And that's a trend that we have some concern about. So we're going to have to track that and see, there's obviously an election coming, a new mayor on the way. We want to see some of those policies that can start to stabilize New York City, because it's still vitally important for the Hudson Valley region. Housing demand obviously continues to rise. I don't think you can have a conversation with a residential broker in the region who won't tell you, I'm on fire. Calls are coming in left and right. Properties are moving fast. But that's good on one side of the equation. It's another challenge on the other, which is that we need to make sure that we have affordable housing, workforce housing, throughout the region, because if we don't have the housing, we're not going to have the companies. It's as simple as that. It's been long, in the economic development world, a lot of folks have felt that you attract a business and then you build housing. It doesn't work that way. It actually works in the opposite. Companies come where there's housing, and then, so they follow those housing trends. So we have to make sure that we are addressing the housing challenges throughout the region. And another major trend that we're seeing, and you go shopping in a local store and you'll see a scarcity of products. So there's a log jam of products being imported into the country. Construction delays have happened because of raw materials are being delayed. So this is a concerning trend that is happening. It's something that we really have to get a handle on to make sure that we can continue to grow our economy. And that's not just here in the Hudson Valley or New York State. That's obviously across the country. So workforce development trends. What are we seeing on the workforce development side? Help wanted, right? There's help wanted signs absolutely everywhere. Businesses are struggling, especially in the hospitality, healthcare sector. They're really struggling to find workers who, for a variety of reasons, are not returning to work, to those pre-pandemic levels. So this is going to be a challenge. We've talked to a number of hospitality companies throughout the region that are the demand is high for those tourism dollars, but they can't be at full capacity. They have to keep their capacity to a certain number because they don't have enough workers that can service the people that want to come to those locations. So while demand remains high, these businesses are going to continue to struggle because they're not going to be able to work at full capacity. So we really have to continue to track workforce trends. And I'll get into that in a little bit more as we move on. And part of the challenge coming out of the pandemic and why we're struggling on the workforce side is there's underlying issues that we generally haven't addressed. Transportation, childcare, those issues, affordable housing, are all linked to our workforce challenges. Another area that I like to talk a little bit about is our energy and infrastructure. You can't, if you're following anything down in D.C. and the federal government, you see the challenges that Congress is struggling with to come up with an infrastructure act, an infrastructure bill to put dollars back into our local communities. These are following what's happening in D.C. is absolutely critical on the local level. We absolutely need to have these dollars reinvested in our communities to make sure that our infrastructure, our sewers, our roads, our basic building blocks for businesses, are up to date. In communities and regions that have those types of state-of-the-art infrastructure, will be the ones that will attract and retain jobs. It's as simple as that. One of the other things I want to talk about regarding, just on the last slide, also regarding the energy and infrastructure policy is what New York State has been doing to connect our two grids. As the state is working to try to reinforce or expand our renewable energy efforts, NYSERDA, under the governor's leadership, has just announced two projects that are working on a transmission project that will link our upstate grid, where we have renewable sources of energy, wind, solar, hydropower, and we're going to be able to transmit them through the Hudson Valley into New York City. So we're finally going to be at a point where we're going to be able to connect the two grids. That's an enormous advantage for the Hudson Valley because we're going to see enormous investment that's going to take place as part of this, and will also spur and encourage businesses that work in clean energy to get engaged with these transmission projects. So you're talking billions of dollars of investments, thousands of jobs that are going to be created, and this is a process that's going to take a good part of the next decade to come together. But I think it's going to lead to a great boom within the green economy. Next slide, please. Everything starts with the if you're looking at how we're going to kind of restart and grow the regional economy, everything still starts with the pandemic and vaccines and unvaccinated versus the vaccinated. I think, as you can see from some of these numbers, Ulster County has been doing a pretty remarkable job in terms of their vaccination rates. Currently, 82%, almost 83% of the population in Ulster has at least one shot, which is higher than the rest of the Mid-Hudson region, which is coming in at about 76.5%. Those numbers are great, and Ward and I were talking before the breakfast about some states in the country that are as low, have vaccination rates that are in their teens. Those economies are not going to reopen. They're not going to get people coming back. We're all sitting in here with masks coming into. If we want to move past that, those vaccination rates got to continue to increase. It is the single most important thing facing the economy, not only here in New York State but across the country. Next slide, please. Okay. Let me just pull it up here so I can see. Okay. So let's talk about what are the challenges. Why are businesses struggling with finding, qualified workers? You're hearing it all the time. You're seeing the signs, everywhere. And part of it is that, again, we're not addressing some fundamental underlying issues. Our hospitality and healthcare sector have been hit incredibly hard. Many people have pointed to enhanced unemployment benefits as a reason why people haven't returned to work. And the reality is those benefits ended in September. So we're hoping that once those benefits, the extended benefits have ended, that we're going to start to see those trends start to change, where people who have potentially been on the sideline will start to return. One of the things that the Hudson Valley has to really focus on is our brain drain. A lot of these issues are linked together. So what I mean about a brain drain is that we're educating a great deal. We have some great academic institutions throughout the Hudson Valley, and we're educating and training the next level of workers. But what's happening too often, is those workers have left the valley to find work, and it becomes a drain. Too often, New York State trains their workers, and they leave. And part of that is because, again, the affordable housing, childcare, transportation, some of these underlying issues that have to be addressed that can make it easier for young people to remain in the region. So if you want to have that, keep young people, educate people in the region, you got to make sure there's affordable housing. You got to make sure that there's transportation. You got to make sure there's childcare. And those underlying issues, if they're not addressed, we will continue to struggle with those issues. So how do we solve some of that? A lot of the county here works on workforce development issues. I think communities that are thinking about housing projects have to look at the big picture. Clarity and approvals tend to be more important for a project than incentive dollars. So if a community can provide certainty through the approval process and move projects forward, or give clarity up front that a project is in essence not welcome in a community, that alone will help spur some of that development to move forward in a smart and reasoned way. Transportation issues are absolutely critical. I'm working on a project in Orange County where a restaurant group has, again, struggling to find workers. And they use the example that, they might hire 30 new people to work at their restaurant, and they get out of work at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. There's no transportation, no public transportation to get the people back to their homes. They can only do it for a certain period of time, and then you just say, this job doesn't work for me. So while the company is paying more, giving benefits, and it's a wonderful place to work, if the underlying issue is not taken care of, they will continue to struggle. So working with local municipalities, county government, state government, to try to improve our transportation system, our public transportation system is going to be absolutely critical to start to address some of those long-term issues. Childcare, we talk about that. Childcare is another critical thing, especially in the hospitality sector, where childcare might not be available for people at nighttime, and how can you have if you don't have a safe environment or a place for your childcare for your children, it's very difficult to return to the workforce in those types of jobs that require you to work, into the night. So, again, the more that can be done to start to address some of those, underlying issues will help us, our overall regional economy. Next slide, please. All right, so one of the, you can go on to the next one. So, we were approached by, and I want to talk about some examples of these things that I think that we can be helpful, and we're going to offer it out to the members here, and we're going to work with Ward as well. One program that we did, we were approached by an example is Mohawk Mountain House. You're all familiar with it. They're struggling, like many hospitality groups, to find workers, and they've been doing all the traditional things. They have signing bonuses, they have job fairs, they're doing all those types of traditional things to recruit people in. But they're struggling along with many other organizations. So we partnered with Mohawk as an organization and started filming what we call our God Admitted campaign. Basically, the world's become a TikTok world, right? Getting information is being disseminated in very short and quick and visual ways. So what we did is we went up to Mohawk and we created a series of videos where we interviewed various workers inside Mohawk to talk about what it's like to work there. You know, people in the kitchen. I've been working here for 5 years or 7 years, and this is what it's like. And not only talk about the jobs that they have, but talk about what the quality of working, you know, in that environment, and what it's like to work as a team and the advancement opportunities, and really make it a more personable story than simply a job posting or a job fair. And then we're able to take those videos, share them with Mohawk. We put it out on our social media. We share it through our database, and these are quick and easy ways that can start talking about a story of why it's a good place to work. And those are the kind of things that we can partner with the Chamber on to help any of your businesses as well. If there's stories that you want to get out about or that you're facing on workforce development, we're more than happy to come in and kind of work with you to create some of these innovative videos that can kind of sell that message in a short and simple and shareable way. Next slide, please. All right, so I'd like to talk a little bit about what's happening specifically with projects here in Ulster County and the Hudson Valley in general. Next slide, please. So and I'm going to kind of touch on some of these major economic development projects. Some of them that were hot before the pandemic and kind of cooled off, in the last year and a half or so, that are now starting to pick up again. Interests are picking up. Development projects are moving forward. There's been projects that have been working on infrastructure and kind of the non-glamorous part of economic development over the last year, but now they're ready to start going vertical, start creating jobs, bringing in tenants and the like. One that I want to talk about is Tech City. We've been working very closely as an organization with County Executive Pat Ryan, along with his economic development team, to try to figure out ways to reposition Tech City. Now, you've heard that for many, many years, but in the last couple of weeks, there's been 5 buildings that have been sold. There's great interest in the campus right now, but what we're trying to do is bring in a development partner that can look at the campus and has the experience to redevelop it in a proper way, all looking to try to bring in targeted industries that make sense for Ulster County. So that's working closely with the county executive. That's working closely with a potential developer that is looking at the site, and it's all designed to take the best of what has happened in other regions of New York State or across the country and bring those elements to bear here. So a campus that is struggling, environmental cleanups, challenges, that have been well documented over the years. We're hoping to see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. And we think that this property, this campus, is going to be one of the gems of the Hudson Valley region. As businesses start to move north, as interest comes out of the city through Westchester, Dutchess County, Orange County, and starting to move up north, Ulster County is well positioned to take advantage of that great growth that we're seeing. And we believe Tech City is ripe and ready for proper redevelopment. Part of it has to do with cleanup at the site. Part of it has to do with bringing in the right partners and the right businesses. But there is activity happening, and I think you're going to see more announcements in the weeks to come that can really be a game changer. Next slide, please. So Winston Farm. This is another very exciting project that is taking shape. There's a proposed $600 million regional mixed-use destination project that is looking at the development of the former Winston Farm site. Shovel-ready properties, getting all of the approvals in place, coming up with a master plan of what kind of development that you want. It's absolutely critical when businesses are ready to expand. They need to make sure that there's certainty in the market. What's taking place at Winston Farm right now is part of that process. They're starting to build to what this campus can be by engaging with the community, a thoughtful master plan, and really, in essence, working with organizations like us to help market that site to attract the right types of businesses that will bring high-paying jobs, high-quality jobs, and great investment into the region. We're working on a project in one of the southern counties to give you an idea that how long a project can take in New York State from start to finish. We're working on a project that has just completed their infrastructure. The current owner of the property has owned the property for 11 years. 11 years to get his approvals in place to move forward. That's why places like Winston Farm, what they're doing right now to kind of create a true vision and taking care of all of the necessary steps as quickly as possible, makes sense. It's rare for a company or a developer to stick with a project that's going to take a decade to get approvals. They'll move somewhere else. It's as simple as that. So that's why we're super excited about what's happening at Winston Farm, and I think it's situated in the right spot from what's happening up in Global Foundries, up in the Albany market, to what's happening in the lower Hudson Valley as well. Next slide, please. So I have Jeremy Ellenbogen's here today, and Jeremy's been a longtime partner of HVEDC and has helped us for many years. And he has an exciting new project that this is a great example of some adaptive reuse. Taking a facility that wasn't a commercial space that had been off market and repositioning it for the new workforce, the new reality of what businesses are looking for. We're very excited about what he's done here, and we encourage you all, if you haven't seen it or if you don't know enough about it, to reach out to Jeremy, reach out to us. We're happy to set up some tours so that you can get a full understanding of the opportunities here. This is the way businesses, small businesses and emerging companies are looking to operate, coming into smaller spaces, communal spaces, working in an innovative environment, and which spurs conversation and collaboration and a host of other things. It's an incubator, in essence, model, and this is a great example of an adaptive reuse of existing space. Next slide, please. So one thing we're super excited about is the explosion of the film industry in the Hudson Valley. Part of that is the work that Mary Stuart Masterson and her team at Upriver Studios and Stockade Work has done to create an environment for filming to come to New York State and specifically to come to the Hudson Valley region. Mary Stewart is a board member of HVEDC, and she's worked very closely with the governor's office, the former governor's office, to make sure that the state incentive programs for film production extend into the Hudson Valley, so that we are in a competitive, we have a competitive opportunity to attract the right types of businesses and productions here. And it's really starting to pay off. In addition, Mary Stewart and the team has created Stockade Works. Stockade Works is a training organization to help people, targeting people, women, minority populations, veterans, underserved workers, training them in the film and production industry, and then getting them jobs directly in those productions. So if we have, it's a very innovative way of doing things. So as you have an incentive program from the state that puts the framework in place for these production companies to come to film, they need workers too. So what Mary Stewart's done is say, well, you have the incentive, now we're going to help you with the workers. And Stockton Work has done really a remarkable job of starting to train people for the industry and then literally getting them jobs in those productions. Upriver Studio, which is about a little over 100,000 square foot facility, is already full. Expansion plans are underway, and it's really put Ulster County and the Upper Hudson Valley, on the map in film, which has led in no small part to expansion in the Lower Hudson Valley of our film industry. Lionsgate Studios is working with a developer named Joe Cotter, National Resources, down in Yonkers, to build a major film studios on the shores of the Hudson River, Hollywood on the Hudson. Lionsgate was initially looking at about one soundstage, and they're now up to 10. So they're expanding rapidly in Yonkers, which has also attracted other film studios to come. They cluster. If we can show that there are job opportunities and talent here, we will get a lot more of those productions. Umbra Soundstage in Orange County is also expanding at their location. They recently acquired the former Anthony's Pier 9 in New Windsor, which is about a 70,000 square foot facility that they're expanding in film production into that space as well. So I think Ulster County is well positioned to get a lot of this filming, but you're seeing a robust industry that's really taking hold here in the entire Hudson Valley. We have the talent, we now have workers being trained, we have the locations, and now we have the studios coming with major investments on studio space. So we're very excited about that as well. Next slide, please. So there are things about the green economy that I think are also starting to take hold. We talked a little bit about the connection with the state as they're looking to connect the upstate grid with the downstate grid to fulfill their renewable energy goals, which are very aggressive in the state of New York. But we're also seeing an opportunity here in Ulster County to take advantage of green building, and we're seeing more and more businesses wanting to get to have their projects incorporate green technology. Good example. This is Rick Alfondre's building in New Paltz, which is a net zero energy building. And as an architect that's focused on this space, Rick is a really good person to connect in another local talent here in Ulster County that's doing a lot within this green environment. Next slide, please. Another example of a new building is the Highland Passive House, which is about a 12,000 square foot building that's going to be built, which will be the first multi-use passive warehouse in North America. Again, another project, new development project. Construction is slated to take place in the coming months. And we're very excited to see that this type of work is happening, here in the Hudson Valley as well. Next slide, please. All right, I can go through this pretty quick because we talked about the connection of the upstate and downstate grid. It's going to be a game changer. Once we're able to have that power, that renewable energy from upstate to being able to support businesses in the lower part of the state, we're going to see a lot of renewable energy companies wanting to connect into this transmission line. So over the next year, you're going to hear more and more about that, but we think it's ultimately going to be an infrastructure game changer for the state of New York. Next slide, please. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the regional projects that are happening throughout the Hudson Valley as well. And why we talk about regionalism, it's important because a project that lands, say, in Dutchess County, how does that impact Ulster County? Well, a lot of residents might live in Ulster County and work in Dutchess County. You might buy products and services. There might be opportunities for businesses in Ulster County to partner with businesses in Dutchess County. So a win in the Hudson Valley is a win for all of our counties ultimately. All right? Thank you. So North 80 is a great example of that. The North 80 project is a parcel of land in Westchester County next to New York Medical College, around the corner, within minutes of Regeneron, and within walking distance to Westchester Medical and the Ferrari Children's Hospital. John Ferrari Associates is planning a $1.3 billion health life science campus that will tie into our growing life science and biotech industry cluster in the lower Hudson Valley. This is a campus that, upon completion, will generate at least 4,000 high quality, high paying jobs, and will tie in nicely to the work that Pfizer is doing in Rockland County, that Regeneron is doing in Westchester County, build on the work that New York Medical College has been doing specifically in the arena of disaster preparedness centers and training. All of these things are coming together for the development of a really game-changing, transformational project. Recently, it was selected as a priority project in this year's round of CFA funding from the state, and we expect to find out what kind of award they get later in the year when the governor makes those economic development announcements. But as we start to get more of our biotech sector in the local lower Hudson Valley, that can bleed and expand into the northern Hudson Valley region. And again, companies up here can be working with companies down there. Next slide, please. The plant is also another priority project which is taking place on the shores of the Hudson River down in Yonkers. This is a former industrial plant that now is being repositioned to be a kind of a leader in climate change, a facility that will bring leaders from around the world to try to address some of our world's growing environmental challenges. And this will be a national or an international center that will foster small business, green economy, blue economy, and sustainable jobs. We expect this to create at least 1,500 construction jobs and an estimated 700 high-paying jobs as well. This operation is also something that will be tying in and partnering with a lot of the academic institutions throughout the Hudson Valley and New York State as a whole. Another shining example of how we can take a former vacant facility and really reposition it for the future. Next slide, please. Talked a little bit about Joe Cotter and the work that he's doing down in Yonkers. Joe also owns the iPark, the former IBM campus in Fishkill, which is on fire right now. The amount of interest in the facility is absolutely tremendous. Frito-Lay has just announced that they're building a 150,000 square foot fulfillment center, bringing I think about 500 jobs or so to that space. And what we're seeing is a lot of these mega campuses are starting to get major projects coming to them. And that helps a campus like Tech City to be positioned to also be in position to attract these types of jobs. Food manufacturing remains incredibly strong in the Hudson Valley, and we think that there's really no end in sight for that as well. Next slide, please. So a great project that's happening over in Sullivan County. The Center for Discovery is now in the process of building a specialty children's hospital, again at a former vacant office park. This specialty hospital, with the help of Senator Schumer, was able to get a $35 million federal loan guarantee that would help this project move forward. We're very excited about the opportunity here. Center for Discover is a fast-growing organization. They're the #1 employer in Sullivan County. And the services that will take place at this specialty hospital will not only help the families and the patients that come to it, it will also dramatically reduce costs in the healthcare system in New York State. So it's not only a win for the people and the families that go to the hospital, it will help New York State overall by dramatically reducing their costs as well. So that project is moving forward in construction, and you should start hearing more about that in the coming months. Next slide, please. So one of the things that has really we're very excited about, we're partnered with Sterling National Bank. What are some of those issues that have faced businesses and families and communities during the pandemic? It's been access to high-speed internet, right? As you're working from home, the reliability, the ability to work from home was also dictated by the ability to have high-speed access. As we look to the future and more telemedicine and remote healthcare takes place, the ability to be able to communicate with your healthcare provider, through high-speed internet access is even more and more critical. And remote learning, there's a reality to what has happened in the past year, and we don't know what the future holds. But I think we've experienced what it means to have your children at home and the challenges that arise if you do not have the type of high-speed access. And there's communities in the Hudson Valley that really suffered on that level. So there becomes another divide within our society. The people who have that access and the students that are able to learn during remote learning, and the ones who don't. They're simply falling farther and farther behind. And as a society, we can't have that. That goes back to the other issue that we're facing, which is workforce development. If we have an unbalanced system created early on, it's only going to lead to further problems down the line. So we've partnered with Sterling National Bank, who's committed to creating two digital labs, in the Hudson Valley. One is going to take place in Yonkers, and the other one's going to take place in Newburgh. Basically, the digital labs are equipment that is given to a nonprofit organization to help run community programming and allow access from underserved communities to be able to have a high-speed, internet connections. So this is an expansion of a project that we believe that Sterling and other organizations are going to want to tie into as these labs get started. One at the Armory in Newburgh and one with Grayston Foundation, Grayston Bakery down in Yonkers. We expect to see more of these digital labs start to come throughout the rest of the Hudson Valley. And I believe next year we'll be coming up and being able to announce that we're going to be creating some of them here in Ulster County as well to help some of our underserved communities. Next slide, please. Many of you are very familiar, and certainly you should be, and if you're not, you should get more engaged with the Advanced Manufacturing Center, the 3D Printing Center at SUNY New Paltz. HVEDC is proud to have helped create the 3D Printing Center, which is a way to get prototyping, state-of-the-art prototyping equipment at the college, to get engineering students and other students at the college to start to interact and work with this high-tech equipment, while encouraging businesses to come in and work with the students in the college on prototyping and a whole array of ways that businesses can start utilizing 3D printing technology. Since the start of the lab, there's probably been 400 to 500 companies that have accessed and partnered with SUNY New Paltz, and we expect that to continue dramatically as the years go forward. Really a remarkable gem, a great way to take one of our academic institutions and expand their services, and connect directly with what they're doing on the campus to the needs of the business community. So I do encourage you, if you haven't learned about the center, to certainly check it out. Next slide, please. SUNY New Paltz is also taking a leadership role in creating the Hudson Valley Venture Hub, which is a way to bring a lot of the entrepreneurship that is taking place throughout. There's plenty of organizations that are working in areas of entrepreneurship. There are startup investment funds. There are small business groups that help try to generate small business development throughout the region. And the Venture Hub at SUNY New Paltz, and it's a really powerful initiative, is trying to bring them all together in a coalition so that they are shared resources. There's opportunities to promote what different groups are doing throughout the region. So if you haven't been involved with the Venture Hub, I certainly encourage you to do so. Another great example of a local institution going outside their borders, kind of engaging with the business community. And in this case, they're doing it through the entire Hudson Valley region. So I want to have an opportunity if there's any questions, but I just want to talk on some of the key points of what we need to really focus on as we continue to move forward. The pandemic still remains the central issue facing our economy. Overwhelming. The more people that get vaccinated, the quicker we're going to get back to what we knew as normal. Normal's going to change. Businesses are adapting. I get this question all the time. What's going to happen to our corporate parks? What's going to happen to, are people going to have to go back to work? How is it going to be a hybrid? We don't know. We really don't know yet. It's still too early to know that, but we do know that change is here, and change is going to continue to happen. So getting the pandemic under control still remains the central piece of economic work for not only New York State, but for our country. From the Hudson Valley's perspective, we must continue to diversify our regional economy and build off our strengths. A lot of those regional projects I talked about, biotechnology, life science in the lower Hudson Valley, it's their core. That's what that part of the Hudson Valley has been focused on. So they should build on those strengths. We talk about hospitality, tourism, the connection between food and beverage and agriculture and tourism, and those strengths in parts of the upper Hudson Valley are also things that we should be focusing on. So there can be a balance, but you should be building on your strength. Talk about the film industry. That's something that is stretching over the entire Hudson Valley. Housing drives economic development. Businesses follow housing. It's not big corporation doesn't land in a place and then housing is built. They have to have housing in place for their workforce. So we have to really focus on the challenges of affordable housing, workforce housing, throughout the region. And I think Ulster County has a unique opportunity to attract. You're seeing it when we're talking about some of those articles that nationally Ulster County has really come onto its own over the past year during the pandemic. It's a really wonderful place to live, work, and play. And I think there's going to be tremendous opportunities here in Ulster County, to continue to grow and bring in high quality jobs. If we want to be able to live here, we got to make sure that we have jobs that pay a salary and a life, so that you can maintain your lifestyle. So again, I want to thank Ward. I want to thank the Chamber for having me come in today, and I'm happy to answer any questions, if they're easy, that anybody might have.
Are there any questions at all? Anybody? Okay. We are ready.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
How do you see the Stewart Airport blending into all of this?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to know what you see about Stewart Airport. I mean, it's been fits and starts for 30 years with this airport.
Yeah.
If we're going to continue to attract the business you're talking about,
Right.
we're certainly going to need that. Is there a regional effort
Yes.
to go after that?
It's a great question, and I think you're going to see some major announcements in the coming months regarding Stewart Airport. I specifically left it out of the discussion because of some confidential issues that are happening on some development that's taking place there right now. But I think there's going to be some exciting development. Stewart Airport is absolutely critical to the growth of the region. But we also have to understand what it can be. I don't think it can be necessarily a passenger airport. I think we've seen those struggles, too often. That's not to say that there won't be passenger travel, but the ability to bring in cargo, the ability to really bring in business activity at the airport, I think is something that we're going to see. Recently, a little over 2 years ago, we brought Simone Development up to Stewart Airport. They acquired the town portion of town of New Windsor's portion of Stewart Airport and they have some substantial plans on kind of redefining the campus. The pandemic slowed things down, but I think we're going to start to see some very exciting things happening at Stewart. It's a tremendously underused asset. And, I think Governor Cuomo rightfully put a lot more effort on and attention towards Stewart. It was very helpful in attracting the Simone Group to come in, which is a very substantial, regionally recognized development organization. So I think we're going to start to see more of that in the coming months. Okay.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes. Just wait 1 second.
I wanted to make point out. Mike mentioned the SUNY Venture Hub, and I agree that's a great organization. I've liked what they've done the last couple of years. And for anyone that doesn't happen to know about it, they happen to have their Venture Fest, an annual event happening later this afternoon.
Right.
I believe it's possible for people to come in and walk in, and I would definitely take a look at that for those that are interested.
I think there are walk-ins available. Yes, that's great.
Any other questions at all? All right, nice round of applause. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you,
Thanks, everybody, for coming. We will see you next month right here. We've got a great program. I think you're going to enjoy a chance to see Jay Riffenberry. You're going to be at Wiltwick. Don't forget our dinner, which is next week. And special thanks to all of our corporate sponsors. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.